While Jesus may have engaged himself in numerous acts of miracles and magic, this was not his main purpose for being here. In fact, the religious self-consciousness can heal the sick and perform miracles and magic as well. Within every religious self-conscious individual flows the divine life energy. They are as much divine as the cosmic consciousness. What the religious self-consciousness is not awakened to is the explanation of all things. And it is this explanation of all things that eliminates doubt and fear. It is this explanation of all things that unifies that which the religious self-consciousness divides. It is this explanation of all things that allows the spirit being to vibrate at that vibrational frequency that is a manifestation of love on the higher plane. And it is this explanation of all things that is able to transform the individual to that vibrational frequency that allows the individual to ascend into a higher dimension. Jesus' mission, purpose, and focus was explaining the structure and function of the cosmos. He saw himself as the instrument or medium through which the explanation of all things channel itself. And he had no reservation in declaring this: I am come to set the prisoners free. Humanity is held in a prison of doubt, fear, and separateness. I am come to set the prisoners free. This is the Questo. Welcome to part 3 in the Spirituality Session series entitled Unfolding the Missing Piece in the Spiritual Puzzle. In part 2 of this series, we had a detailed look at the dialogue between the woman at the well and Jesus. We concluded that Jesus did function as a Christo in that he, 1, made a self-proclamation of being the prophet that was sent to explain all things, and 2, he was able to tell the woman things about herself that, being a stranger to her, he should not have known. But was he befitting a Christo in the sense of being pleasant and kind? We need not look very far for this answer, because children were constantly being brought to him. He was known as a healer as well. What about being manageable or self-governing? Jesus made it clear that he did not come to destroy the religious laws, but the spiritual path is not complete without what he had to offer. Religion is just one aspect of the cosmic dance. But while Jesus did not come to destroy the law, there are a few acts of his that is worth taking into consideration. There are documentations of religious festivals that Jesus either did not turn up or attended late. Jesus picked corn on the Sabbath day, and when his action was denounced by the Jews, his reply was that of a self-governing being. Humanity should have dominion over the Sabbath. The Sabbath, nor any other holy day, religious rites and rituals should not govern humanity. Humanity should not be governed by that which is external to them. And yet, the law stands. The law stands inasmuch as kindergarten and elementary school must continue to function even after you have been out of it, made your way into college or university. And the reason for this is obvious. Your life is no longer governed by Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And you are no longer haunted by the wolf who visited Red Riding Hood's grandmother. In fact, these don't even make much sense to you. But they do make sense to someone else. And so, the law stands. What makes sense to you now does not make sense to a younger spirit being. What makes sense to the younger spirit being is the story of Red Riding Hood. Do you get the point? The eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth did not make sense to Jesus. What made sense was love your enemy. Neither was the stoning of the woman caught in adultery making any sense either. Because we are all on the same spiritual path, moving from less to more. Gradually, our eyes are becoming more open, and therefore, it behoves none of us to stone the rest of us. I guess the teaching of Jesus that really confounds the religious mind and which does not qualify him to be king after the order of the religious consciousness is, do not resist evil. In our language today, we say there is no good and there is no bad. All that is set by the Almighty One and for the purpose of the Almighty One. But how can you suggest or request that human not oppose, rebel, or fight against evil when one of religious or religion main purpose is to fight against evil? How can you say do not judge when religion is founded on judgment? There cannot be right and there cannot be wrong without something being judged as right and something being judged as wrong. So, while Jesus did not come to destroy the law, he certainly was not living it either. Jesus' teaching was a new wine that could not fit into any of the existing wineskins. It is no wonder so many needed to get rid of him and his followers. They were clearly out of phase with the religious consciousness. In the revelation of the eternal realm, it was pointed out that the thought process dubbed Christo, or now called Christ, cannot remain in the realm for any appreciable time. It can destroy the lower governing principle. And so, it surfaces only at those points in time when there is a need for a selection. Jesus' message is a reaping phase message. We will be looking more into the selection process as we continue in this series. A bloody massacre was initiated and the realm was cleansed. Whatever thought of the cosmic Christo was left active was converted into a religious thought as the beast stomped the remnant under its feet. Well, so it appeared, until a very interesting discovery in 1945. In 1945, there was the Nag Hammadi findings. Apparently, during the massacre to cleanse the lower principle, some writings were buried. Having gone through these documents, many scholars believe that their suppression as banned document was critical for the formation of the institutionalized Christianity. The writings was just not befitting the religious thought process. Since this is the only spiritually significant event that took place in 1945. Could this finding be considered the return of the Cresto? Is the Cresto a belief system that explains all things? Or is the Cresto a physical individual? Is the Cresto the Word? And should it be the Word that is returning? In part 4 of this series, we will dig yet a little deeper to unfold what this Cresto is. Have yourself an awesome week, and as always, aspire to become full.